Hey, what is up guys? This is Harrison Barron. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into my channel. So in this video, I'm going to teach you guys exactly how to set up a two-person podcast. Two mics in the same room. That way two people can communicate. This does not include video. This is purely audio because I had a tremendously difficult time finding this information online. And because of that, I want to give it to you guys completely free to solve your headaches. The reason why, like I said, is because I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet, and nobody really teaches the simplest way of learning how to use a mixer and all that kind of stuff. So in a moment, we're going to jump into the podcast, and you guys are going to see exactly how this whole thing works, and I hope this really helps you guys. It took me forever to learn this kind of stuff, and because I've just product tested, learned, and all that kind of good stuff, I now can pass this on to you guys, so I'm looking forward to that. At the end of this video, actually, you know what? Why not right now? If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because I know that you're going to get a lot of value out of this video because I am putting everything that I've learned into one little video. That way you guys can easily digest it and start your own podcast. That's what I'm encouraging. It's a great way to grow your business, to gain an audience, and ultimately have a lot of fun with somebody else. And the nice part is it makes you put your cell phone down and really enjoy the other person's company. I'll see you guys in there. All right, so we are in my little podcasting area. So the audio is connected still to the camera, so don't think like you're going to hear the microphone. But every good podcast should have two things right off the bat. You should have headphones and you should have a microphone with a pop filter. A pop filter is this black thing on top that is going to prevent the p and the h on the microphone. It really takes you out of sounding like you're in a hurricane or a tornado and really makes the audio as clear as possible. That way the audience doesn't hurt their ears when they're listening in their car and their headphones, and ultimately brings your audio quality up tremendously. Right off the bat, the first thing you have to do, and this sounds super simple, is always turn on your switch. If you have a microphone with a switch, make sure it's on because I've made this mistake on several occasions until I listen to the audio again. You have to make sure that you put the microphone on, otherwise you're not going to get anything in there. And now we're going to hop over to the mixer so I can talk to you guys about the mixer. So right off the bat, you have your mixer, right? You want your master volume to be somewhere at 0 or below 0. So all the way down is going to be nothing, and all the way up is going to be too loud. Now when you're going through, you want to keep it just below 0 or about 0. These two cables go into your camera. If you have a camera, that's what they're there for. If you don't have a camera, don't worry about it. Next is going to be your headphone jack. Now, I have my headphones put into a splitter so both people can listen to the output of the audio. I do that so that way people understand exactly how loud they are during the show. Here you have your mic inputs. You can have up to 4 on this specific mixer. These are called XLR connections. You're going to make sure they are plugged in. Now, when you're doing gain, you have to remember how loud somebody is going to be. Louder people probably need a little less gain, so you're going to turn that over to the left. If they're quieter people, you might have to turn that more towards the right. Typically, I like a 9 to 12, somewhere around 10, 11, I think is a pretty fair number for that kind of stuff. Next, you're going to have your comp. Comp, I like to keep straight up. It does a really good job at equalizing your audio. When I first started, I had everything turned to the left, but as I've grown and gained experience, I like it right down the middle. It brings down the highs and brings up the lows. It's really, really good for that. Now, next is your EQ. So your high, your mid, and your low. This is the depth of somebody's voice. So if it's a guy, you might want to add more low and more mid to get them to sound just like they would inside of a real conversation in person. For example, for a woman, you might want it more high and mid. That way they sound closer to what they sound like in person, and also it adds a nicer tone to their voice. Next, you have the FX. I highly recommend, unless you're doing some kind of audio manipulation, do not worry about FX. FX is really only important as long as this number is not 0, but I recommend for a podcast keeping it at 0. Don't worry about that, just make sure it's straight. And this is how you modify the number. You can go all the way up to 100, but keep it at 0. That's the best way to do it. Next thing is your pan. This is more for headphones than anything, but you're going to pan to the left and pan to the right. You want audio coming out of both headphones, so always keep those vertical. And last but not least, you have your audio levels down here. Now these audio levels control the output of your mixer to your computer or to your audio source that you're recording on. With that, if they're a really loud person, you may want to turn this down. For example, I know that I'm very loud, so I have it anywhere between 9 and 12. But other people are really, really quiet. You might have to turn that anywhere between 12 and 3 o'clock to turn them up. The difference between gain and this is gain is the sensitivity of the microphone, where this, once their sensitivity is dialed in, this just controls the loudness of it. Each person is going to have a different style between all of these knobs, and every guest that you have, or any person that's sitting across from you, might require a different set. If you're not recording with any of these tracks, just make sure the gain is turned all the way down and also their levels are turned all the way down, so that way it doesn't interfere with the show. Last but not least, you're going to do your main section. This is just your headphones, that way the person listening can hear exactly what you're talking about. If it's really quiet, you want to turn it to the right, and if it's really loud, you want to turn it to the left, just to adjust for the headphones going to your ears. This does not affect anything coming out of the mixer, so please remember that. Don't think that you need anything like that. Now, some microphones do require phantom power. This mixer specifically does offer phantom power. You press that. You do need to do some research on your microphones because not all of them require phantom power. Phantom power is never going to hurt your microphones, but you don't need additional power and it could affect the quality of it. So just keep that off unless your microphones specifically ask for it. And that's pretty much it, guys. Just make sure your headphone jack is plugged into your headphones. Your main is plugged into your left and right if this is going out to a recording device such as a camera. And everything else you could pretty much neglect for now. Control room is more for high-end professional audio recording. That way it doesn't modify any of the audio. And same thing with the left and right out here for 2-track. Alrighty guys, I hope that video helps. Just kind of giving you a quick tutorial on how to use the mixer and different ways to modify the audio. Just remember, the gain and the output are the most important. You never want the output to exceed or go into the red dots. You also never want the gain to be too high because if you're in an echoey room or a room that's small, you're going to hear a lot of that reverberation between the audio coming in and out of other people talking. Make sure that gain is turned all the way down if you're in a small room, but you can also modify it by turning that person up. So as long as they're pretty close to the microphone, I like to say within 1 or 2 fists is the perfect distance to a microphone. You might have to be a little closer if you're in a small room, but that's going to be the best way to get the best quality audio. I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.